in case you say something stupid. All right, so I'm recording right now. All right, so first of all, let me kind of ask the question, like so far with the balancing. Right now, I'm focusing on balancing, okay? I assume if we had any issues of counting atoms, y'all would have brought them up to me by now. Because again, on the counting atoms, most people seem to have made the same mistake on the same problem, okay? And so let me just do one counting atom scenario here real fast. The one that we dealt with here was you had this problem. Uh-oh, my pen's working. Oh, Lord. Hold on. Oh, my word. My eraser's not even working. There we go. All right. So we had this problem. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm at school, so apparently all my stuff doesn't work now that I'm at school. So I believe this was the problem. And most of you, it was weird. Most of you, when you were doing your inventory for nitrogen, you went 4 times 1 times 3, and you got 12. And then you remember that there was another one over here, and you went 4 times the 1, and you added the 4, and you got 16. Most of you got 16. Now, I can't tell if maybe it's because y'all are talking in a group chat and y'all are like saying the answers to each other, because pretty much most people, though, got the H's wrong, because they would go 4, and here's the thing, okay? If you're doing the H thing, all right, it's 4 times 4. Oh, my word, my pen is going crazy. Times that 3. So 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, 16 times 3 is 48. So therefore, when we're doing total, your total is going to be 64. But it was that one that everybody seemed to get wrong. Like almost, I think everybody was like putting like either 12 or 16 or something like that. And so it was just weird that you guys would get, it's weird that you would get this one right, but then you would go and mess up and get this one wrong. So, but most of you are getting the counting atoms part right. So before we go to the balancing thing, are there any questions about counting that you want me to address first?
No.
Pretty easy for me.
Okay. I mean, that's good. I did say that the counting would be easier than the other stuff you're doing, so. So everybody's good? All righty. Dang, was that a trash can I just heard? All right. So balancing. So far, with the sheet that I gave you for practice today, has the video seemed to help you with doing the sheet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, let me go ahead and say this. The sheet today has got a lot of easier ones, and then it's got some average ones, and there's only like maybe 1 or 2 that would be in the challenging variety. So if you're able to do this sheet, that's good, because this was the starting point. That's good. But tomorrow's sheet, because tomorrow basically you're just going to get more practice problems. And so those might be a little bit more involved, because I needed you to get the hang of it first before I started throwing more challenging stuff to you. Now, how about this? So let's take a look here at, how about this? Let's take a look at 1 through 5. All right, so if you have your sheet or your stuff in front of you, your work more importantly, I'm looking at 1 through 5. And my question is, are there any people that have any issues with 1 through 5?
Yes, number 3.
Number 3? Okay, great. Let's take a look at number 3 then. I'm gonna try to use my whiteboard here, but then again, it doesn't seem to be doing good for me yet, but let me. So in the case of number 3 is H2, Lord. is H, my word, H2 SO4 plus, then you have B OH3, and then you have an arrow, and then you have B2 parentheses SO4 3 plus H2O. If you're wondering what all those specs are at the bottom, it's my palm resting on the iPad. So, all right. So the first thing we do here is we said you're going to go ahead and you're going to separate your reactant side from your product side. And by the way, which way is the arrow pointing in this problem? Jaden, you answer that question.
To the right.
To the right. So that means anything to the right is a product, anything to the left is a reactant because the arrow is pointing to the right. If I were to write the same equation, but the arrow is pointing to the left, that would mean anything on the left side then is a product and anything on the right side is a reactant. So reactants and products aren't set to be always left and right. Like products aren't always on the right side, but products are always whatever the arrow is pointing to. Everybody got that?
Yes.
Okay. So if you, how about this? I'll assume if you say nothing, you understand. If you don't understand, then just make sure you speak up because it's for you that we're doing this. Now, we're going to list our individual elements. So again, I see that, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start on this end right over here, the left side, and I'm going to work my way to the right. I see an H, I list my H. Then I see a capital S, I see a capital O, I see a capital B, I see a capital O again right there, but I already have an O listed, so I'm not going to list it again. I see another H right here. I already have an H listed, so I'm not going to list it again. So HSOB are my elements on the left side. I'm going to go to the right side just to make sure I didn't mess up anything, and I'm going to say there's a B, there's a B, there's an S, there's an S, there's an O, there's an O, there's an H, there's an H, there's an O. I already have it listed, so therefore that's my starting point of my inventory. Now I'm going to go here, and again, my coefficients are right here, right here, right here, right here. And right now, what is the number in the coefficient, Nisi?
1.
1. So when I'm going to the H's right now, I'm going to say I have a 1 right here times the 2. That gives me 2 H's. 1 times 1 sulfur gives me 1 sulfur. 1 times 4 oxygen gives me 4 oxygen. Then I'm going to the other element, or the other compound, excuse me. 1 times 1 boron gives me 1 boron. And now here we go. 1 times 1 oxygen times 3 gives me 3 oxygens for a total of 7. And then 1 times 1 H times 3 gives me 3 H's in addition to the 2 for a total of 5. Okay, so therefore, if I'm looking at this right now, my inventory is 5 and 7. Okay, that's the left side. So right now, Nisi, since you said that this is the one that you wanted me to do, if you don't have 5171, well then right now I knew this. You were never going to balance this question right because your inventory is wrong.
I have that.
Okay, all right. So now we're going to do the same thing on the right side. So on the right side, I got 1 times 2 gives me 2 borons. 1 times 1 times 3 gives me 3 sulfurs. 1 times 4 times 3 gives me 12 oxygens. 1 times 2 gives me 2 hydrogens, and 1 times 1 gives me 1 more oxygen, which gives me a total of 13. So therefore, I have 13 oxygens on the right side. So now, when I'm balancing this right here, I look at it and I go, that's broke, that's broke, that's broke, that's broke. So right now, one of the things that I usually say in the video is, I fix what's broke first. Well, here, everything's broke. So then I have to make a decision. What element do I want to pick first to try to fix? Well, if they're all broke, I just need to pick one. And so here's kind of one of the things that makes balancing equations that can make it frustrating is like right now, this is what Nisi wants. Well, which one should I pick? Well, there is, ready? The only way you know that one is if you know the answer. But if you don't know the answer, then you just have to pick one and see where it takes you. Sometimes you may go through the process and get to a dead end, and you got to go right back to the beginning and redo it again, and this time take a different pathway. But there's no magic pill that can get you that right answer automatically. So the reality here is you just have to pick one of the elements that's broke and say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna try to fix this thing. Now there are some little tricks that you'll start to pick up, such as like anytime I see like right here, I have 1 and I have 2. Well, I already know now that if I put a number in that blank right up there, I know I can fix the B's real easy. So sometimes what you do is you say, hey, let me do some easy fixes just to see where it takes me. Like for example, another easy fix that I can see right now, because right now I look at this. If I see a 7 right here and a 13 right here, is there any way I can double up a 7 and get 13?
No.
No, so therefore that's not an easy fix. Same thing here, there's a 2 and there's a 5. Any way I can double the 2 and get a 5? No. So therefore these aren't easy fixes. So I look for things where there's easy fixes. So like 3, 1, that's an easy fix. All I got to do for that is to just put a 3 in this blank in the far left one. So right now when I look at this, I say S looks like an easy fix, B looks like an easy fix. So Nisi, just to prove my point, you tell me which one you want to do first, the S or the B?
The B.
The B? All right, so if we're going to do the B first, that means we're going to go here, we're going to say 2 goes right there. 2 times the 1 gives me 2 B's, okay? 2 times the 1 oxygen is 2, times the 3 out here is 6, right? So I have 6, but remember I still had those 4 right there. So I actually have 10 right now, okay? And then going back to my subscript right over here, 2 times the 1 times the 3 gives me 6 H's. I still have those 2 right there, which means I now have 8. But now my point was this though, Nisi, what were you trying to fix when we made this move?
The B's.
The B's. And so did I fix the B's?
Yes.
Yes. So guess what? You did what you were accomplishing. You did what you went out to do. So now I say, hey, I fixed the B's. Now let me fix something else. And again, the other easy fix here was what again?
The B's.
Yeah, but what was the other one?
Oh, the S.
The S, right?
The
So what are we going to do to fix the S's now?
we can put a 3 on the left side beside
Okay.
the H.
So put a 3 right there. I have no idea why that changed to a yellow. Okay, so we put a 3 there, right? So if I put a 3 there, 3 times 2 means that this 2 right here is now a 6. So 6 plus 6 now equals 12.
12.
Okay, and then 3 times 1 gives me 3 S's. 3 times 4 gives me 12. So now I have 6 plus 12, which gives me 18. Now, that's what that putting that 3 there did. Nisi, what were we trying to fix again?
The S's.
Did we fix them?
Yes.
Great. So now I say, hey, look, now my H's are broke and my O's are broke. So now which one of those to you do you want to fix, the H or the O?
The H.
The H, all right. On what side?
The right.
All right, so now we're going to go over here. We're going to put a 6 right there for that H, because 6 times 2 will give me 12. And surprisingly enough, that fixes my H's. But 6 times 1, 6 times 1 is going to give me, let me just kind of scrap this out. That's going to give me 6 oxygens, right? But remember, there was an oxygen over here still. So therefore, 1 times 4 times 3 is going to give me 12 oxygens in that area. So now 6 plus 12 equals 18. So now when I look at things, guess what? My O's are equal and everything else is equal. And so that you never have to ask Mr. Science, is this right? All I got to do is just simply say, and I'm just going to switch over here to, I'm going to go to green now for a second. All you got to do now is say, you know, that like 3 times 2, that's 6. So there's that number. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 4, that is, where was that number? 12, which is that number right there. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 1 times 3 is 6, right? Which was that 6. So all those numbers are verified. So that number is good. 2 times 1 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. So that number is good. So like all my numbers on the left side are good. 1, like I have a 1 right here. So, you know, 1 times 2 is 2. That's verified. 1 times 1 times 3 is 3. That number is verified. 1 times 4 times 3 is 12. So that number is verified. 6 times 2 is 12. That number is verified. And 6 times 1 is 6. That number is verified, which means that number is verified, which means all my numbers are straight. I didn't make any oopsies. So therefore, my answer to this question is, let me just erase this right here and just make it easier. My answer is 3, 2, 1, 6. And because there is a 1 in this blank right here, because there's a 1 right there, that means all my coefficients are as simplified or reduced as they can be. Because Austin turned in something today where all his numbers were were even numbers. And so coefficients are like subscripts. Subscripts can be reduced. That's why we had the whole step 5 cleanup, simplify, and then erase 1s, right? Well, you can do the same thing with coefficients. So if you look at your coefficients, and like, for example, if you saw your coefficients were 6, 4, 2, 12, if those were your coefficients, you'd say, oh, wait a minute, those are all evens. You know, so I can divide all of those by 2. You know, that means they all can be reduced, and that's how you would end up getting your 3, 2, 1, and 6. So just kind of be careful with coefficients. They can be simplified. That's the one thing that probably none of the video shared with you that I need you to be aware of, that coefficients can be simplified. And that's number 3, though. So Dees, does that help?
Yes.
Where were you getting stuck?
Because, okay, when you do your inventory and then you have 2 of the same elements, it kind of like threw me off because I didn't know how to like add them together and then make them equal.
Yep. And that's what makes some of these problems more difficult, which is like either you guys are smart or you guys are all talking to each other. Because the fact that more people didn't have issues of the combining thing was surprising to me. Surprising in a good way if you guys actually just figured it out on your own. Because that's usually the one problem that most people have, is that when you have, and what she means is like the fact that we have an H over here and then there's an H over here, then you know, you guys have to remember to combine them down here into one bigger number. If you don't remember that, then you're going to have an oopsie. So Nisi, me being my science teacher self, the fact that you're the only one that was really having so far the issue of the combining thing, in addition to you're the only one not in the group chat, makes me think that a lot of people are talking to each other, which I have no problem with. But it just makes me think that maybe once you get in the group chat, you might have some extra support besides these video sessions that we do.
We haven't been talking to each other all day. We just started talking before the call.
Okay. I mean, no, like I said, hey, if this is something that y'all are just figuring out and seeing on yourself, that is awesome, you know, because again, most people don't. Like I usually have to bring it up to them for them to see that you have to combine things at times. So is that good with 1 through 5?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. What about 6 through 10? I'm saving 20 for a reason.
That's exactly what I was going to ask for. 6 through 10.
So 6 through 10?
Good.
like now keep in mind, like number five, you should just leave alone, because if you do your inventory, you would see that all of your numbers are equal on both sides. So therefore, there's nothing for you to do in number five. It's already balanced. So if you try to balance something that's already balanced, you know, it shows that you're really not seeing the big picture. You know, it's kind of like putting a cast on somebody who's giving you an x-ray that their leg is not broken. 6 through 10, anybody?
Can we run through number 8?
Okay, I can. Is anybody else going to say something?
I'm good.
All right,
I'm good.
Sam,
I'm good.
you're good? All right, so number 8.
Yes.
Okie dokie. All right. Who's got that music in the background? Sounds like somebody's playing guitar. By the way, Sam,
Yes.
if Nicole is there, tell her she needs to sit here and watch with you, since apparently she doesn't remember anything.
She's in
Oh,
the living room. She
yeah.
said, "Excuse me."
Yeah, I mean, especially since, you know, she didn't learn much in chemistry, apparently, since, you know, she still hasn't figured out the chemistry between her and a particular individual. Everybody else is going, what are we talking about? All right, Nisi,
Yes.
tell me my elements on the left side.
You have carbon,
Just give me the
which
symbol.
is equal to C H and O.
Okay, what about the right side?
The same thing.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm extra positive.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Because I mean, ready? Because here's the thing. For most of you guys, like I've already had one person whose name I will not say, Zamari, has already written the equations wrong on several occasions. Like they go, I'm getting stuck, and then I look at their problems, like you wrote the equation wrong. Like you literally copied something incorrectly. But those things happen, so just kind of be careful with those oopsies. All right, let me get Esmeralda involved here. So Esmeralda, you there?
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm here.
Great. So here's what I need for you. I need you to tell me my numbers for C, H, and O on the left side. And Jaden, you'll be doing the right side. Okay.
Okay, like that.
That wasn't me.
Of course not. All right, whoever's first, I'm ready whenever y'all are. Proof that they haven't done these problems. In case these guys didn't know, I didn't ask you to balance it. I just asked you right now, with the numbers all being 1 in the blanks. What's my inventory?
On the
right side, Jaden.
It's C number 1. Is 1. Is it 1? All right. 2. And 2. Wait. 1. 2. Is 1 or 2?
Freeman, if you're still in the building, please call the front office. Ms. Freeman, if you're still in the building, please.
Hold on, Jaden. How many oxygens are on the right side?
2.
2? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ready? Do you see what number I'm writing?
Yes.
Okay. Because there's one right there, and there's another one. Crap. And there's another one right there. So you have to combine them.
Oh, all right. I get it.
All right, good. Esmeralda, you ready on the left side?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good on the left side? Okay, so what do you got on the left side?
I got 2, 4,
Okay.
and 4.
2, 4, and 4. Okay, you're good to go. That is 2, 4, and 4. All right, so thank you both. All right, so when we look at things, Sam,
Yes.
Jaden, go ahead and mute, because I don't know what you're talking to, but it's a trap.
I was singing a song. My fault.
No, you're good. Sam, carbons, are they equal?
No.
No. All right. Hydrogens, are they equal?
No.
No. How about oxygens?
No.
No. Okay. So in this scenario right here, let me go to Nisi now. Thank you, Sam.
Mhm.
Nisi,
Yes.
of the 3 elements, which one to you looks like an easy fix?
The carbon on the right.
The carbons, because you got 2 and 1, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So, and you're going to start on what side?
The right.
All right. And what do you want me to do?
Put a 2 beside the C.
Okay. Oh my word. That is ugly. Hold on. Let me erase that. Okay. So now tell me now, Nisi, now you tell me
Yeah.
what are my new numbers on the right side of my inventory?
Okay. Your C turns to a 2, and your other oxygen turns into a 5.
Cool. All right. What were you trying to do?
No, I don't know.
No, specifically, what were we trying to do this one time?
Oh, we were trying to fix the C's.
Did
Yeah.
we?
Yes.
All right, then job well done, because that's the whole point. The whole point, guys, is this. Like, and now that Caden's here, I'll kind of say this. Balancing equations either is a very enjoyable experience or it's a very frustrating experience. And the reason I say that is because, like, there are people who are either really good at chess or they're really horrible at chess, you know? And so the people that are good at chess, they love balancing equations because it's a lot of thinking that you have to do in your head. Where the people that are not good at chess, they hate it because you can't see the whole thing. Sometimes you have to do one step at a time. Sometimes you can't see the whole thing. And so you just have to pace yourself and go one step at a time. And so that's what I'm doing right now is I'm showing you the one step at a time process in case you're one of those that can't see the whole thing in its entirety. So one step at a time means, hey, carbon was broke. I fixed it. So now I'm gonna go and see who else is broke. And so now I'm gonna go to Sam. Sam, who else is broke right
Yes.
now?
Hydrogen and oxygen.
Okay, which one to you looks like an easy fix?
Hydrogen.
Great, so tell me what to do.
I would add a 2 to the right side.
Okay. And so now tell me what that does to my inventory on the right side.
It would change the H into a 4. And then it would change the O into a 2, right? No, sorry.
Remember what I told Jaden? Remember those little blue marks?
4. Yeah.
There's 2 of them. So you have to combine them.
So it would be 6, right?
There you go. All right, good. So what were you trying to do, Sam?
Change the hydrogen, the H's.
Did you fix them?
Yes.
Good. So now that means there's only one thing left now for us to do. And on what side should we work on? Esmeralda?
The left side.
Left side. All right, so tell me, what do you want me to do on the left side there? Because remember now, I'm gonna say what I said to Jaden. There's an oxygen there and there's an oxygen there. So now I gotta know, where am I gonna put my coefficient? Because there's oxygen in 2 different spots.
put the 2 on the oxygen, the one that's by itself.
All right, so put a 2 there. All right, and so when I do that, what does that do to my inventory on the left side?
It changes it to 6.
That's right, because remember you have 2 here. Now you have 4 there, so 2 plus 4 is 6. All right, and therefore your answer then would be 1, 2, 2, 2. And so that's your answer to whatever question that was, number 8.
Right.
Anybody have any questions about number 8 before I erase it?
No.
Mm,
All right.
Can we do number 10?
Can we what?
Can we do number 10?
Oh, how about this? Let me look at number 10 real fast and ask you some questions.
Okay.
So like if you look at number 10, right?
Mhm.
Let me kind of give you a suggestion here. Have you done inventory for number 10?
Yes.
Okay, great. Watch this. All right. Who's broke?
My nitrogen, oxygen, my nitrogen, oxygen. So N and O.
Really? How many sodiums do you have on the left side?
1,
How many do you have on the right side?
1.
Oh, that's where you messed up. If you look at the equation for number 10, on the right side,
Oh,
the
I didn't
compound-
read the audio.
Here you go. So, because that one right there is actually is an easier problem. If you fix the sodiums, you'll actually fix everything else. But here's so Nisi being a Zamari Jr. right now, she wrote it wrong, and so therefore she kind of got confused. So Nisi, I promise you, if you write the equation correctly, your inventory would have 1 sodium on the left, 2 sodiums on the right. If you fix the sodiums, you will literally fix everything and you'll be balanced.
Okay.
All right. 11 through 15, anybody?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, then I guess I'll just jump and go straight to number 20. And number 20, though, does have a little bit of a trick you can apply. So let me first let me write down the problem. All right. Our inventory is pretty much the same thing as it was in the last problem. Or let me rephrase that statement. My elements are pretty much the same thing on the last problem. Now, because I actually care about your success, I would ask Caden how he solved this problem, but he might then explain things like he did that Roman numeral thing that one day in class and literally confused the entire class. So he'll probably say something like, well, I started doing my inventory and got my numbers. Then I petted a zebra, and that's how I got my answer. And I'm like, okay. All right, so real fast here. Austin, actually, I will go to Caden, though, at the same time, though, here. So, Austin, you're going to give me inventory on the left side. And then, Caden, you're going to give me inventory on the right side.
For left side is 4, 10, and 2.
Okay. Wisconsin.
For the right side, it's 1, 3, and 2. Or my fault, 1, 2, and 3. My
Okay.
fault. I did it backwards.
That's okay. I know, you're probably petting a zebra. All right. Let's see. So, Now here's the scenario here, right? Now, obviously we can see that there are a couple of easy fixes. Nisi, give me one of the easy fixes. Don't tell me what to do, just tell me which element looks like an easy fix.
Oxygen. Oh, I'm lying. Hold up.
I hear you.
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen, all right? And so is carbon. Like I love when I see a 1. That's just me, okay? When I see a 1, I love those because I already know now. All I got to do is say, I'm gonna switch my marker now. Let's see. All I got to do is now go and put a 4. 4 makes that now, this becomes a 9, okay? Now, those are equal, all right? Hydrogens, 2 and 10, hey, if I put a 5 somewhere, I'm gonna be good. 5 times 10, right? And then this gives me 13. Let me stop there so some of y'all can get caught up. Because some of you are going, hold on, he did that too fast. Everybody good with how I got 13 oxygens on the right side? All right, seeing no problem.
Yes.
All right, so here's our problem. Our problem is I need to fix oxygens and I need to do it on the left side. But I only have one place where I can do that. And what's hurting my feelings right now is that number 2.
Yes.
Because now whatever number I put there is automatically going to make it double. So like, for example, like the number I'm targeting right now is 13. Well, if I put a 6, 6 times 2 is what?
12.
12. That's too little. Well, let me go one number up. 7. 7 times 2 is what?
14.
14. So now you get your problem now says is, hold on. There is no way I can get 13.
6.5 can be done.
Well, 6.5 would be great, except you can't have decimals. Like coefficients are like subscripts. They have to be whole numbers. So I can't put 6.5. However, if 6.5 would work, right? So in other words, let me kind of do this here for you. If in a perfect world, if I could put 6.5, then I'd be good, correct?
Right.
But I can't. So therefore, the option that I could do, and this is kind of like an algebra thing, is just take everything and multiply it by 2. Because if I have a half, right? Remember, 6.5 is basically saying 6.5. Well, how do I make a half a whole? I double it. So if I take all of my coefficients and I double them, then what happens now is this. I'm going to change to blue. What's the coefficient right here? Where my blue blank is. What's the coefficient right now?
2. Oh, right now. It's
Right
1.
now, it's a what?
1.
It's a 1. So if I double it, I'd have a what?
2.
2. What's 6.5? If I double it, I'd get a what?
13.
I get a 13. So therefore, all right, and sorry, I'm going slow. Oh my word, there we go. If I double 4, I get a what?
8.
I get an 8. If I double 5, I get a what?
10.
I get a 10. Okay. And so now when I redo my inventory, I'm over here on this side now. 2 times 4, that's 8. 2 times 10, that's 20. Somebody coughed. 13 times 2, that's 26. And then I go to the right side. 8 times 1, that's 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 10 times 2 is 20. And then 10 times 1 is 10. 16 plus 10 is 26. 26 equal 20 equal, oops, 8 equal. And so therefore, are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Yes, we are. So anytime you have a spot where you kind of say one number is too small, the next number is too big, if I could only do the number in between, then that makes you say, oh, in between, let me double everything and I'll probably be good.
So that's what you gotta do for this?
That's what you would have to do in that particular problem. There's no other way to solve it.
Okay, hold up.
It's because the key here, though, again, was this. The key here was 6 was too little and 7 was too much. Right?
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying, like, anytime you have where it's like the one number is too little and then the very next number is too much, then the only thing you can do is go in between. But you can't have decimals, so that's why you'd have to multiply it by a factor to get that decimal gone. But if you, like in algebra, what you do to one, you got to do to all of them. Which the thing that Nisi will probably do is she'll remember to double the one number, but then she might forget to double the rest of the numbers. And so that's kind of the most common mistake that people make. Once they know the trick, they just forget to double everything. They just double the one they need. So how are we doing?
I'm lost at the 13 part on the left side.
Okay, hold on. What do you mean you're lost by the 13?
Like, where did it come from?
The 13?
Yes.
The 13 came, okay, so hold on now I got to figure out. I'm going to yellow, see here. Okay, so remember we had 13 over here before, right?
Right.
And then I had 2 over here.
Right.
Okay. So the question became is like, what number, where I circled yellow, what number can I put in there to multiply it by this 2 to get me 13? And so we said, well, 6 gets you 12. That's not enough. 7 gets you 14. That's too much. So there's no number I can put in here to multiply it by that 2 to get me 13, unless I could put 6.5.
Right.
But I can't put 6.5.
Right.
So that's why I have to double it. If I double it, I get the number 13, because 6.5 times 2 is 13. And so that's how I got that 13 right up in here. But if I doubled this number right up in here, I got to double that one, I got to double that one, and I got to double that one too.
Okay.
Are you saying okay, or do you really understand?
I understand it. I got you.
Okay, because you said, how did you get that 13 thing? So that was kind of the whole, that was the heart of the problem. So I just wanted to make sure you have a heart.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Any questions? Any other questions about balancing right now? I believe I have activated the assignment for tomorrow, which is just more balancing. So like, if you're kind of like, oh, I got the rhythm here of this thing going on. I want to go ahead and practice some more. I mean, I think that assignment is already active. So if you want to go over there and get it and just start doing some more practice while things are going good, feel free to do that. But tomorrow is basically more balancing equations. Monday's lesson is reaction types, but reaction types involves equations still, which means on Monday you'll still be doing some more balancing equations as well. But the ones that I have for tomorrow, those are more of the fair representation of how things will go. So like some of those will be simple, some of those will be more challenging. So just kind of, if you're wanting to get more practice, in other words, it's active for you now and you can go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Does anybody have, Adamar, are you quiet over there?
I was on mute.
I know, but I'm just saying, you good over there?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions or anything I can do for you guys?
No.
All right. Hold on. Here we go. I'm going to stop sharing that thing and give me a second here, guys. I want to share my screen. All right. What do you see? Okay, never mind. I see what you see. You see the balancing equations problems, right? Okay. I just want to make sure you guys, because I believe I shared this with you. Like y'all have seen this document, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, just because I just need you to understand a little bit of, I don't want to say it's frustration, but just the things where I can make mistakes is like when Zamari submits something on Canvas, I have to go to Canvas, record the number grade, which right now you'll notice everything is 0. I have to record the grade. I have to make the comment that I've received it. And then what I got to do is I got to come over here and check you off. Now, when Nisi sends me something through Remind, I have to then reply to the Remind. Then I have to come over here. I have to check you off here. And then I have to go to over here. And I have to, for example, then I have to go to like balancing equations. And then I have to, in the balancing equations part, then I have to go to speed grader. And then I have to go over and, man, the internet's slow. Sorry, didn't mean for the pause here, but somebody in this school must be watching something inappropriate. So, but then I have to go to this page here, and I have to then put the grade in and put a grade in the spot, type a comment down here at the bottom, and submit. So I have a lot of screens that I got to go and put information for just one person's assignment. So I might make a mistake and not check you off on something. So that's why I'm saying, like, just make sure that you go here and check to make sure that when you've submitted something that I have checked you off for it. If you say, hey, Signs, I turned in my notes for April 2nd and you haven't checked me off, like, I'm not offended by you asking me that, because I want to make sure you look over your own stuff. But like this right here, this screen is my official thing. Like when I look over here and somebody says, how has this person been doing? I'm going to go to this screen and say, you know, like Zamari's, she's turned in everything all week. You know, Caden's turned in everything all week. I look over here, Fabian stopped doing work pretty much after Monday. You know, Adam hasn't done anything since Monday. You know what I'm saying? So like that's my main, this is my main screen. So that's why I gave you guys access to it. So just make sure that that as you do something, you make sure I'm checking you off, because I need to make sure you get credit. Are we good?
Yes.
And, oh God, what did I just do? Hold on. Why is this? Thank you. I'm just looking to make sure. So yeah, you see how more balancing equations, it's in green. That means tomorrow's assignment is active. Now the announcement isn't up there, but if you go over to assignments, it'll show up. So if you want to get more practice, it's up there. Anybody have questions?
Nope.
I just submitted my stuff.
Okay. Let me stop sharing.
So there's no video for them.
There's no video because it's more balancing equations. So yeah, there's no video. It's just this the assignment. All right. All right. Well, then I guess if we got no more questions, how do we have 15 people in here when there's only?
You're up here twice.
No. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the chat, not the participants.
Getting really sexual.
I'm just reading the comments now. I'm just being nosy.
This is Signs.
Yeah.
Raphael said hi.
Hey, Raphael, the man who showed up half the time. All right. Well, if you got no other question, like I said, if you got a question, just email me or send me a reminder, send me a text or send me a whatever. Because like I said, you guys, I can tell you this, I've Zoomed with my physical science kids 0 times this whole week. Because right now, like I said, you guys are at a very critical point. So I'm wanting to make sure we're good, because when we start test 6 stuff, which is stoichiometry, you know what I'm saying? That's where, like, we're getting close to the 10-step problem. However, though, I'd have good news for you. Mr. Harris sent an email to the teachers a couple of days ago. And as far as right now, there's still spring break. So like, I think April 10th through the whatever, like there's no, like you won't be getting any instructions. And you know, like we don't have to do any teaching stuff. So we're still gonna get a spring break. You're still locked in, but at least I get a break, because remember, if you've had off for like 2 weeks doing not much, but I've been having to get all this stuff ready and all this other, you know, mess. So I definitely want a break. All right. I'll say this, unless you got a question, You're more than. How about this? Do y'all want to talk to each other for a minute?
No, I don't like these people.
That's why you're not in the group chat.
We don't care.
I added her to the group chat, but she gotta add me back for her to be in it.
Okay.
No, don't add her with that attitude.
JD, bro, shut up. That's all you thought. Like, yeah.
Niecy, I'm gonna go ahead and warn you. Our group chat is gay, so and it's the boys.
Nah, y'all
bet.
gay.
Why don't you use
Hold on. Ready? Let me. I'm gonna stop recording for right now.